Hello, welcome everybody. Welcome to everybody in the chat. Great to see you there. Hello, I'm Natalie, and this is Scientology Life After a Cult, where we recap Scientology news that has the internet buzzing. And I share my 35 years in Scientology and how I left with 3 generations of my family. And you'll catch me at times too, doing what I'm doing right now, which is one of my favorite things, which are interviewing people and finding out how they got involved with this ex-Scientology movement, whether they were in the Sea organization, a public person, or even people never in Scientology, but that have joined this movement to expose Scientology. And today I'm super excited because I've been wanting to talk to this woman for a long time. Listen to me, a long time. I've been here like 9 weeks. That's a long time at my age. She's creative. I love her parody videos. We're going to learn more about it, her inspiration, get to know her better. If you want to ask questions, go ahead. Just put question in all caps and then ask your question. And we'll try to get to as many of them as possible. So thank you all for being here. Would love it if you would hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, help us get notifications out. And then, of course, I'm going to share, there's a link down below too to Kelly Copter's channel. If you're not already following her, you're going to want to subscribe because that is where all the fun is at. She's just full of fun stuff in such a creative way. It just blows my mind. So without further ado, I would like to welcome Ms. Kelly Copter. Yay!
Hello!
Hip hip hooray! Hip hip hooray!
Thank you for the lovely introduction. It's very great to be here. I love your show, so thanks for having me on.
Oh, I'm so excited. I'm glad that we were able to work it out. Being that you're in the UK, we had to work around some time constraints. So
Yes.
thankfully you're more of a night person.
It's only like 6 o'clock right now, so we're all good.
Oh, it
I
is?
have
Okay,
streamed
good.
at midnight. I have done it before, but it's you know what? It's hard to wind down afterwards. Like after a stream, I'm a bit
Yeah.
like, oh, takes me a bit of time. So yeah, 6 is perfect. Good timing. Good
Yes.
timing.
Now, people who have already subscribed and been at your channel know quite a bit about you if they followed you from the beginning. And here is Kelly's channel there, Kelly Copter. You can
Thank
go
you.
ahead over there and subscribe and be introduced to the magic. That's all I gotta say. It's just all it's all magic. That's what I feel like when I see your parody videos with the music. I'm like, it's just magic. And
I mean, thanks.
you did one of the best. You put together all the different points of view when Aaron, from growing up in Scientology, was detained / arrested back in Los Angeles. You put this whole video together that tells the whole story in one place. And that was amazing. Tell me about these video editing skills that you have. Where did it all come from? And what do you do with it today?
Yeah, I mean, with Aaron's video particularly, like I saw it happening. I got texts on my phone. Aaron's been arrested. So I just started. I started screen recording everything because I thought, oh my gosh, this might get taken down. We need to make sure that there's a copy of this.
Yeah.
So yeah, I spent like a good 20 hours just cutting together all the different points of view and stuff. To put that together. And yeah, editing wise, I taught myself to edit in lockdown. I have a series about Scientology on my channel. For those that are watching on Natalie's channel that don't know me, I have been a suppressive person since I was 6 years old, which I wear as a badge of honor these days. And I hadn't talked to my dad for a really long time. He got in touch with me, and I started asking him questions about Scientology. And the more I talked to him, the more I was like, this is crazy. Like, I need to share this. And so I put together a series. I had an iPad. That's what I edited everything on, or at least the first 3 episodes are edited all just on an iPad. Yeah, and I kind of just taught myself, grabbing different clips. I love documentaries. I love movies and stuff. So, I guess you just replicate what you see. That's kind of how I would describe it.
Yeah, I love the creativity. I love seeing the way that different creators bring to the different platforms, like here on YouTube, things that they're good at and talents that they have to share, but all with having to do with exposing Scientology and what goes on. It's just amazing to me, and I think it's the most beautiful thing in the world. Has growing up, did you always kind of have this creative side?
Yeah, whether it was like arts and craftsy things or, music and stuff, I always was making up little songs and things like that since forever. Um, the only reason I didn't join the Sea organization was literally because they came to my house with their contract and said, "Come and join us and, come on the ship." And I was like, "I'm gonna be a famous singer, so I'm kind of busy." I was 12 and full of delusion. So, that's the reason I didn't join because I was so into everything I was doing, in like schools, school
Yeah,
shows, music, bands, all that kind of stuff. So I've always loved that, and music's always helped me through like really hard times in life. So it's
that's
very, very important to me.
yeah, that's fantastic. So your parents now, so when you were born, were your parents already in Scientology?
Yes, yeah, they met in Scientology, and I popped out.
Popped out, and then 6 years later, they decided that a six-year-old surely must be a suppressive person and the source of their problems.
Yeah, pretty much, which sounds crazy, but I guess it made sense at the time. I do not know.
And today, you have a relationship with your dad?
Yeah, so me and my dad have been kind of working things out for the past couple of years. He got in touch with me in 2020 in the lockdown, just to see, kind of check in, like how are things, And I've been to uni through this time. I've lived on my own for such a long time, so I was quite surprised that he reached out. And I just was like, listen, if we're talking, I got a few questions for you, sir. And I asked him about the Scientology stuff. I remember having an exorcism, and I remember the weird, well, I always called it a lie detector, right? But the e-meter and stuff, we had one at home. And I asked him a bunch of questions about it, trying not to just rely on my child brain of what I remembered of it. And yeah, the more I asked him, I was like, hey, I think I need to share this because this is absolutely wacko. Like, this is
Yeah.
probably happening to other people. And I want to put my story out there and explain what this absolutely whack religion is. And then we realize it's a cult. So
Yeah, that's amazing. The series that you did on Scientology that's on your channel is just a must watch. Tell us more about the exorcism. You refer to it as an exorcism that you remember as a child.
yeah. Yeah, and I've had more clarification from my dad about this, but he said he was I'm pretty sure it's the history of man he's referring to when he's talking about this because he hadn't learned about body thetans yet. But it
Yeah,
says somewhere in there, according to him, I haven't read it. Um that there's like at least six degraded sort of beings within us, and he thought, well, maybe I could kind of kick one of those out using my tone 40 superpowers, and a good one could take its place because they had to disconnect from me. So they thought, oh, we'll disconnect from your, evil beings, and
yeah,
then technically we're doing it. Now it's very squirrel for those that are watching.
yeah,
Everyone will
yeah,
go, this is off practice, offbeat Scientology. It is, but guess what? People, I think, that learn Scientology, as especially public, like my dad, they believe they have like the most amount of superpowers. They can do anything. They are at cause over their life. So, I do not think, even though my story is quite strange, I do not think I am the only one with a story like that.
yeah. It is amazing when you start finding out not just that what happened within Scientology at the actual like org itself, but when you find out what happened within so many families who took their interpretation of Scientology and what L. Ron Hubbard said that they should do and how they should raise their children and the level that that can be taken to. Because I definitely never heard of the exorcism, but now that you're mentioning it, I do remember in History of Man, you're right, there are those different areas in the body that are supposed to be like different beings that he talks about. I just never heard of somebody trying to actually get rid of them like that.
Yeah, yeah. And
All the
the ethics book for me was very much my understanding of what Scientology was. Like, I was very familiar with the sort of lower conditions, doing overts and withhold write-ups, and then the sort of e-meter sessions, the added complication is that, my mum's an alcoholic. So, often like it would be sort of 3 a.m. and she would want to have me do an e-meter confession. I always call it a lie detector because I'm like, this
Yeah.
is not some spiritual whatever. It's a lie detector. That's what it is,
Yeah. So she'd
and
wake you up
I
at 3 AM?
yeah, yeah. She did a few times, yeah. Um, and that would be, my opportunity to, come clean.
Oh my
And
goodness.
it was always really weird, and people do ask me like, why didn't you kind of fall for Scientology or believe it? And I always say it's because I literally had to confess to things that I had never even thought of before, right? So, destroying my parents' marriage, or destroying their business,
Mhm.
destroying Scientology, like those were things I was having to confess to,
Wow.
which was just not something that had entered my mind. And the sessions would only end when we got there. So,
Wow, and
um,
where's your mom today?
huh?
Where's your
Sorry, I
mom
didn't hear that.
today?
That's a great question. I have no idea. I was kicked out of my family home at 16 years old. Me and my dad are in touch now, but the last thing my mum said to me was "out of sight, out of mind." So
Your
she
mom,
meant it.
she sounds like she might have a couple things going on.
I think she definitely does, and I know she's not come from the easiest upbringing either. Her parents were in Scientology, and I'm not saying that that's not affected her, but
Yeah,
I can only go with my own experience and
yeah,
what's kind of happened to me. So
yeah, and you saved yourself.
yeah,
Completely
well,
just
I had a lot of support. I did, people at school, my friends and things like. I was really like my faith in humanity got restored, with the way people from schools kind of rallied around me and helped me get the support I needed to finish my studies, to go to university, all that kind of stuff.
oh, that's so great. You have a super chat here, from Surrounded by
Ooh.
Scientology, AKA Clearwater George. Two of my
Hey,
faves,
George.
SPs. Kelly, your creativity is incredible. And Cult of Scientology saw that when you were declared at age 6. So true. Natalie, love your recaps and perspective. I look forward to our live on Tuesday. That's right. Surrounded by
Ooh,
Scientology, we're going to jump on and do a live together on Tuesday.
awesome.
This is a great question from a vintage mommy. Kelly, what or who inspires you in your creativity?
Ooh, you know what? I have a music teacher that I got really close to while I was in school, and she always really encouraged me. We're still friends to this day, and I adore her and love her to pieces. And she definitely inspires me, but I also love like Stevie Wonder and Alicia Keys and, you know,
Yeah,
musicians and stuff like that too. Yeah.
me too. Me too. Tim, what's the story with apostate Alex? I never thought much of him, and his story was suspicious. I have no clue, so this must be a
What's the
question for you.
story?
What's the story?
What's the story? I'm not exactly sure what you're referring to. If you're referring to his own story, I cannot speak to that. Few people have said that is a bit sus, how he got kicked out, went back in, got kicked out again. Listen, I'm not going to try and say any of that is not true, whatever. I have had my own sort of personal issues with him and his sort of transparency on his channel. The IAS protest he did, which, well done, it was great. But, he spent ages rallying for subscribers, like, we need 10K and we're going to do a fundraiser and all this. And then came to the protest and just didn't do one. And I was like, there's people that are sending you chats and things that think this is a fundraiser. Like,
Mhm.
what the heck? So I just thought it was weird. Didn't address it, didn't say anything. Yeah, I don't know. I have my own personal thing with him that, means I don't want to say anything too much on here, as to not just be bashing someone. So
Yep.
that's
No,
what
that's
I'll say to that.
well, thank you. You got another super chat here from Jonas Ornstein or Ornstein. Ornsteinstein. What do you need to become that superstar, Kelly?
balls.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's it is. It's about just being authentic, you know. I am a bit silly sometimes. I do my serious stuff, but I love to make music. I love to have a joke, and I love to make people smile. So that's what I try and do with those parodies and with all the content that I make. So I think it's about being brave enough to be yourself, being brave enough to accept that not everyone's going to like who you are, and doing it anyway. So balls is the answer.
That's so true. I want to share one of them or a couple of them here, and then maybe you can tell us about it. So this is one of those
Sure.
parodies. This is one of my favorite ones. Hold on a second. Check it out.
Say Scientology's a cult. I'm fired up and tired of never-ending assault. Oh, they say it's all your fault. Oh. Second thing, second, don't you know what you learn on OT3? See new body things or an ice cube in the sea. Oh, nah, don't go join the sea. Oh. I was broken from a young age, shaking my story to the masses. I was suppressive as a child. Now look at me, you never thought I'd grow up to be singing from heartache, from the pain. Please share my message, please engage. This is not just to entertain, it's time Scientology got some fair game. You close your jaw, you're losing more believers. Dave, you're going down to lock you up, deceiver. Repeater, oh Dave. We found our voice and now we'll make it rain. My life, my love, my driving came from pain. Don't bother it, a couple of enablers. It's shameless.
I just love it. I just love it. I was telling Hillary before that we went live that sometimes I just put my earbuds in and then just scroll through the different songs.
No way.
Yes,
I'll have
totally.
to get some more for you.
I love it.
Take requests.
Yeah. So tell us about the inspiration behind these parodies that you do.
Yeah, so I have this alter ego that I've kind of created for these parodies, which is it's all a bit of a joke, but I wear my little glasses and have my little hat on.
The hat
and it
is amazing. Where
started,
did you find that hat?
I just got it on Amazon. It like really wasn't expensive. You can get them on there. It's just like I wanted like a captain's hat, right?
Yeah.
But not for it to look like a captain's hat because of I don't know. I don't want to be doing stolen valor over here. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, we'll get a bejeweled one. It'll be hilarious. So I had created this sort of alter ego, I guess. ZDK is what it's known as. The chat has named it Zero Dank Kelly. And it came about after a youth creator on here called Zero Dark Tony started kind of going after people in the sort of SBTV community. Now, unfortunately for him, one of the people he went after was Marilyn Honig from Coffee Cults and Crafts. I interviewed her on my channel ages ago last year, and we are really, really good friends. He really upset her. He did, and that is a mistake. And this is the rule. If you go after Marilyn or you make her upset, you will get a diss track. And that's it. Nobody is immune, not even Mitch Briscoe. So, I created that because when Marilyn was sort of dealing with this, she wasn't happy with how she had a channel for 2 weeks and was getting attacked by this guy.
Wow.
So we would send each other little songs, and the lyrics for the first one, it's a Alanis Morissette song. You ought to know. If anybody knows that one, I asked her to write the lyrics for that one, and she did, and I put it up, and I just carried on making them since. Pretty much. And he was going to put my face on a what towel.
And what towel? I actually don't know what.
It's a dirty cleanup towel, let's call it that. I don't know. I don't want to get your channel demonetized.
Like a tissue?
Yeah, but more but reusable.
Oh, okay.
So that was his thing. He was like putting this merch stuff out, like we're making all these towels for all these people, and I was just like, whatever, and made a couple of diss tracks at him. He's left me alone since then, to be honest. yeah, and now we're doing them for Scientology as well. The one you just played, I think that was around the when Aaron got arrested at the protest. I think
Yeah,
it was just before that I put that one out. Yeah, so and there will be more. There will definitely be more. So
good, because I need more. It's all gone. Cocky wonkle. Kelly, does your dad now see it as a cult? Do you know if he has regrets or does he still kind of believe?
he does definitely see it as a cult now. I'm sure he has regrets for sure. I'm sure anyone that leaves has some regrets. The thing that's been good with him is he has started to take accountability for some stuff, especially with me. In a video I've got coming out soon, I actually read part of a letter he wrote me, like a document he wrote about his story, and in it, it's not perfect, it's not pretty, it's not whatever, but he says, this is what I did. There's no excuses, and I know that I did that, and
Wow.
that was really powerful for me because it was never acknowledged before that.
Yeah, that's huge to be able to have those things acknowledged. And sometimes it's just that's all we're looking for. It's
Yeah,
like you can't make sense of crazy, but
I
could
just
you at
think
least
all
acknowledge it?
Yeah, and I always think all of us that grew up as children in Scientology, like we wanna forgive the
Yeah.
people that hurt us,
Mhm.
but we can't forgive somebody if they don't take accountability for it. They can't even get to that stage unless that's happened. So Scientology parents, if you're out there watching, take accountability so we can let your children forgive you because they want to, most
Yeah.
likely.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Tim has a question for Kelly. Are you planning a documentary starting with William Good, slow rise of the Squirrel Squad, and finally how it spread through the SPTV community?
I mean, it sounds like a great idea. I do not have plans for that currently. William Good is a really, really great creator, and I love hearing that man speak.
Right? I know.
He could do like lectures or
Yeah.
motivational public speaking. He's amazing. And I'm so glad that all those young people out there have him to look to for
Yeah.
this stuff because he really does just tell him what's what, and I love it. I love it. So it's a great idea, and I'll definitely look into it if you think there's if people think that there's a call for such a documentary, I'll definitely look into it.
I say yes, 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 yes. Especially there's been so much that's happened. There's such an evolution. I think you should get on it because I think eventually some streaming service is going to cover this and do a documentary. So you get a head start on it and put it out yourself.
Yeah, and they can
Piano
just
Man,
steal from us all.
there you go. Piano Man is asking, is singing aloud while at work at Scientology? I don't remember it being not allowed, but I would not have done it around most people because I could see how it would be taken as you're not focused on what you're doing and it would be like an other what they call other fish to fry. What do you think, Kelly?
I mean, I can't obviously speak to that. I never worked there. But yeah, I could see it being distracting and, and it's not the same as no case on post, but when you sing, it's very from your soul, you know, from yourself. So I could imagine it being a bit like, ugh,
Yeah,
emotions and feelings.
yeah, can't have those be being brought up. I remember I used to sneak off to go just for like 10 minutes, 15 minutes at a time. I would go up to my room that I shared with my husband to sneak and listen to music.
What did you listen to? What was
I was
your
listening
guilty
to
pleasure?
Natalie Merchant back there. It was the '80s. Yeah,
Nice.
Natalie Merchant. I mean, really, it was whatever came on the radio because that's all, all that we had. We couldn't have a television or anything like that. Judy's got a question. At first, I love your stream, Natalie and my Tony. Is there a sing a song writer in this chat who can make lyrics on Bowie's song Space Odyssey? That would be hilarious.
I
Somebody
think
will have.
a lot of Bowie songs would probably work for Scientology. They've got quite a spacey quality to them. So yeah, definitely add it to my list.
Yeah, that's so true. That's a great idea. Dr. MLS, Will you please do a video teaching us all how to do a written campaign to support y'all? We need all the resources, all the addresses, all the sample kinds of correspondence we can send. I think definitely some videos. I know I'm working on creating a website for the channel as a way to also hope be able to house some documents there that people can just pull down PDFs and use. I think with
Yeah, they
Kelly's
want like
girls,
templates, right? They want like a template for letters and stuff, it sounds like, in that chat,
yeah,
maybe.
yeah, I think so. I think so. And also, I think it would be super helpful to have somewhere a place for like, here are your tips. Like, and you know what? In fact, I was thinking of doing a playlist because Oh No Nora just did an amazing video with tips for protesters. And just taking parts of that or links to those and putting them in a playlist of like, if you're going to protest, here's what you need to know. And
Yeah,
then
no, I think that's a brilliant idea.
we would need an accompanying song.
Of course. I will answer the call. Oh, I do have to address a rumor about some of the songs.
Ooh,
Somebody asked me if I use auto tune on them, and the answer is no, I do not use auto tune to that question for anyone wondering. But I do multiple takes, right? So I will have the lyrics, whatever, and I'll sing it into GarageBand if anyone knows what that is, into the microphone I'm using right now. And I'll just keep doing the takes until it sounds right, basically. So I just wanted to address that for anybody that thinks I'm auto-tuning my vocals. I was flattered though to hear that. I was like, oh, somebody thinks I sound auto-tuned. Wow.
thank you.
Thank you.
Another question, BJ Taylor. Have you thought about a film about the children of Scientology? Ooh.
Yeah. What I've been trying to do on my channel, and I've been going at it kind of at my own pace, but interviewing more and more people to kind of get a rounded picture of what it means to be a child in Scientology, because it's different for everyone, right? Your
Yeah.
story is different to Mike Brown's story, is different to everyone's different. So yeah, I think to find the commonalities and how all of us have grown through it would be
Mhm.
great. But I think everyone's going through a sort of healing process on here as well, sharing and stuff. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just going with the flow at the moment, but definitely someday that should certainly exist.
I think that's a great idea, and being able to grab somebody from each of those different types of experiences, because you have children who grew up in the Sea organization. You have children that were brought into the Sea organization back when you could do that, where you could join with younger kids. And then you've got children who are born into the Sea organization but sent out, like my daughter. I got pregnant in the Sea organization and then was sent to what they called a smaller failing organization in Seattle. And, and then you have public Scientologists who have never been on staff and their children, and one's on staff. There's so many different stories there that are each so unique and different. I think
Yeah.
I think that's a great idea. I love that idea. Ms. Chief has a question. We don't see or hear much about Scientology here in the sticks in Northwest England. Thank goodness. Is there an
Yeah.
org near or in Manchester or Leeds?
There's definitely one in Manchester. I'm not sure about Leeds, to be honest, but definitely Manchester. And it's good if you're not hearing much about it up there. But I imagine they'll probably have one in Leeds. It's a big city in the UK, so I would imagine they'd have one.
Yeah, or a a mission or something. Marilyn, speaking of Mama Bear, loving it,
Yay!
loving this collab with two beautiful, strong ladies. You are so inspiring to us all. Kelly, I always got you. Love Mama Bear. So
I
sweet.
literally adore this woman so much. She is been a really good friend to me throughout this whole YouTube thing. I don't know how you feel about it, Natalie, but you seem quite chill and calm, and you can make the news every day. I find it quite like sometimes kind of distressing, going through these stories and dealing with some of the drama or trauma, whatever we want to call it. I think it's
Yeah.
more trauma than drama, but it's emotional, and I can feel everyone's hurting with stuff, and it's yeah, I struggle to kind of deal with it.
Yeah. It is a lot. I think primarily what I hope to bring is, not just the news of what's happening, but to bring some sort of balance to that to make it, the things that are fun that should be fun, that are funny that are funny, and bring that out as well, because that's how I have coped and managed, is with a lot of humor.
Yeah. And we love it. We love it.
I
The chat
appreciate that.
agrees.
Because we were never allowed to joke about it, really. Or, I mean, first rule in Scientology is don't talk about Scientology unless you are praising L. Ron Hubbard or David Miscavige or sharing a win in Scientology. You're not allowed to discuss any of the stuff that sucks about it. And being able to do so freely just thrills me just to the beyond. You just have no idea.
No, I'm happy for you. I am.
Yeah, but I would
Awesome.
agree. It is difficult. There are times when it's harder than others, and that's why I think it's taken me this long as well to do something like this. And I have the support at home from my Tony, who just really takes amazing care of me and knows, like, when I need to, you know, when the room needs to be dark and the lighting needs to be kind of like your background is right now, and not a lot of loud
Yeah.
noises. Exactly. So having that support, having people like that, and I'm incredibly motivated by shutting down Scientology and making sure nobody else gets into the situations that we were in. And I feel that way about all cults. So I'm kind of like, all right, I'm 53 years old. Scientology not only has to shut down, but then I want to go after a whole bunch of cults. So I'm already on to thinking about like Target 2. But
Wow.
so it stays motivating when I look at it like that. But I'm with you. I've had multiple, I've cried during a stream. I've cried all the way to work at times after doing a stream. I tend to have a little bit, sometimes I have delayed reactions to something where in that moment, and I can talk about it, but then, it's usually with other people, I think, where that pops up. So we
Yeah.
all we all like just try to keep it together and keep
Hey,
showing
I
up.
love what you bring in here. I love what you bring to this space. You're awesome. So
I
thank you.
appreciate that. Thank you. Mothers, it says, wow, we need a Scientology album. I agree. Something to scrub from our brains. The Road to Freedom album that L. Ron Hubbard did in 1986, 85,
Oh, I
86.
tell you what, there's a song that honestly from I don't know which album it's from, but the song is called, I think it's called The Voice of Reason. And it's like, the voice of reason, try again. It's awful. And anytime somebody comments something like that, because I've seen it all over SPTV, like, thank you so much, you're the voice of reason. I'm like, please stop. It's so triggering. It's because I'm pretty sure like the voice of reason is like a bad thing. Like being reasonable is a bad thing. So I
That is
can't
so
hear
true.
it. It like
Yeah.
hurts my soul.
I've been trying to take back so much of what Scientology took and twisted to mean something else. Like my hip hip hooray at the beginning of my videos, my intro is all about just taking that back. That for me used to be a trigger, but now that it's been my intro, it doesn't bother me at all. Or things like
Mm,
you're saying, being reasonable in Scientology is a horrible negative thing, where being reasonable outside of Scientology is desirable in terms of being, willing to have a conversation and some back and forth, just like open-minded. Being open-minded in
yeah,
Scientology is a bad thing. Being open-minded with the rest of the world is a good thing.
yeah, exactly.
John Shamwowski, thank you. Kelly, have you or do you get fair gamed?
Honestly, no. Like if anyone is following me around, honestly, they will be bored as hell for
Yeah.
one. Or I've not noticed anything, I definitely think that my phone number has been sold because all the way back when I went on with Aaron around this time last year, as soon as I did that, I got calls from Church of Scientology London, right? And they don't have my phone number. They were like, "Oh, this isn't who we thought we were reaching." Because they call me up like, "We know you were in Scientology about 20 years ago, and you've got some money on your account and all this stuff." I was like, "I have an account. I was like 8. What the hell?"
Yeah.
So you know, I phoned them back and asked them about it, and they were like, "Oh, well, maybe somebody else had this number before you," and that's what they were trying to pull. I was like, "This is some BS." I think that's ridiculous, but they haven't called me since. But I get a way more of an uptake of random weird phone calls now. But in
Yeah.
terms of fair game, no, I haven't got a hate website that I know about. I haven't been followed around. So yeah, I think we're okay at the moment.
Yeah.
What about you? Have you had anything?
No, same thing. I would be absolutely boring. They're going to follow me and be bored to death. I go to work, I go home. I show a lot of homes, so I'll be zooming around the place. But even that, pretty much if I'm doing it, I'm talking about it. Outside of that,
Yeah.
not much going on. But yeah,
Mm.
same thing. I
Hey,
think
I'd
there's
love
just
to
too
have a
many.
camera crew, you know?
Yeah.
I'm like, if please, it will give me more things to make videos about. Go for it, you know?
Give us something to talk about. Nikki says, or has a question. Can the Squirrel Squad play Kelly's music at Big Blue, etc., to drown out Cult of Scientology? Naf Chone? Is that like a
Maybe NAF tunes?
Nap
I don't know.
tune? Is this a
I don't
Gen
know.
Z reference that I'm just not getting?
Tuned? NAF tuned? I
Well,
think it must be
drown out.
tuned.
Yeah, drown out their horrible flag is here song.
They are welcome to. I have thought about redoing some of their actual tracks. You know, they do have one song that slaps. They do, and they released it in the pandemic. And it's on their Scientology TV YouTube page. It's not called Scientology TV anymore, I don't think. But it's called "Spread a Smile," and the lyrics are cringe as hell, but the beat rocks. Like it's got a good beat to it.
Yeah.
And I thought about rewriting that one maybe for parody purposes.
Yeah, how does that
Yeah.
work with copyrights and being able to share it and all that? Do you know the rules around that on YouTube?
Yeah, so if you create a parody of something, it technically counts as sort of transforming the work, you know, adding your own thing to it. There's tons
Mhm.
and tons of parody artists on this platform, like Randy Rainbow's a really good one. He does sort of, he's a musical theatre kid that does like political parodies, and he's had like Patti LuPone on his channel, all kinds of stuff. He's great. But that's his content, and it's monetized on my end. Those shorts do not make any money, by the way, for anyone that is wondering. um, they do not. But yeah, you can, as long as it's a parody, it's fine. You do need to change the words. I add a lot of background vocals as well, extra sort of harmonies and things to kind of make it my own.
Yeah,
So yeah, I would say that it's sort of trying to uh, you know, cross that line between like karaoke and a new thing, right?
I love it. It's a whole thing. Kyla, what lipsticks are you both wearing? I have never worn lipstick, 40 years old, and you both look beautiful with those shades. Oh, thank you. I'm wearing what
Cute.
I found in my bathroom drawer. I have no idea what it is because I can no longer read the labels. I dig around, I pull something out, I hope for the best. I don't even know how old it is, but thank you. How about you,
Yeah,
Kelly?
mine's like a Maybelline one, like a liquid lipstick thing.
Yeah.
Again, it's a pink. I used to be way more into makeup and stuff. That's what I started doing on my channel. Before talking about Scientology, I was like painting my face to look like a lizard. I was
Oh,
putting
wow.
bald caps on in lockdown because I was bored as hell. I was like, let's just do something. Let's do
Yeah,
anything. And makeup was what I kind of started in. But yeah, now I'm like bare minimum as we can go.
that's so cool, though. You know what? I think it is Mac, though. I do know that. I just remembered that it is Mac. I can read those letters. Otherwise, to read the
They're
bottom,
good
it's what it
lipsticks, to
is.
be fair. They're
Say
good
that again.
lipsticks. I said they're
Yeah,
good lipsticks.
they stay on. The stuff's always coming off. Klondike's World. Kelly would love to hear some clever chants from the Squirrel Squad. With your talent, might you ever be inspired to create some that we can all use? Oh, yes.
Ooh. You
Yeah.
know what? I will have a think about that one, and I'll definitely post some if I can think of some chants for you guys.
I
Yeah.
love that idea.
Leave it with me.
Yes. You have a super chat. feral humanity. Watched your Well Done series, Kelly, and can't stop crying. Stop cults and child trafficking.
Yes, thank you so much for the super chat and your comment. Yeah, we need to get any kids out of Scientology. I agree with Serge Delmar. It should be 21 and up. Kids can't consent to the stuff that they're put under in Scientology. So yeah.
Absolutely. Jody Olson has a question. Would you ever consider doing something musically with Laura FM? You both are very talented.
You know
Oh,
what? Lara FM is cool AF. She's awesome. She is a bit of she's like a rock star, and I wonder if I kind of feel like I'm not cool enough, I don't know if I'm cool enough. I would love to do something with Lara FM. She's awesome. We definitely have to find a way to merge our styles together or
yeah,
somehow. I've not actually had the chance to speak to Lara yet. But definitely, if hopefully I'll be able to get in touch with her and we could have there's so many musicians here. We need a whole
yeah.
we need the Scientology musical to happen. We need to.
I agree completely. I think it'd be fun to have you. Do you ever come to the US? You ever come stateside?
I haven't been to the US since I was probably about 9.
Mm,
And I was stayed at Flag and stuff with my family. So I've
yeah,
not been there since then. I do want to come to the US. There's lots of people I want to see.
yeah,
Um, yeah, so I'm hopefully just gonna save up to get me a ticket over there because
yeah,
it's kind of expensive. And yeah, find somewhere to stay and do a little tour. That would be my dream.
yeah.
Do a
That would
tour
be
and
lots
meet
of
a bunch of
fun.
these. Yeah,
Well, you are
that would be
welcome to
great.
come stay at my house. I'm in the Midwest, so I'm
Thank
in
you.
Minnesota, which is kind of like the middle of the country, but north. You'll want to come pretty much anytime but winter. Although
Works for me.
we're having a mild winter. My youngest sister, when she was living in England, from the time she was 12, we would fly her out in the summers to come see us so that we could, she could grow up with us being in her life. And I remember her being amazed. First time she came, she was like 12 or 13. And she had not been back since, she was 7. It'd been a long time. And the variety of cereals, like stuff like that, the excess in grocery stores.
I was obsessed with when I went to the States, Lucky Charms, but just the
Oh,
marshmallows. Just
yeah.
the marshmallows. They were like crack cocaine to a child. It's
Oh,
just
yeah.
sugar.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah. You
Pure
guys have
sugar.
you guys have crazy amounts of cereals over there.
Yeah, we really do. It's a problem.
Uh,
The Peace Lady, are either of you going on the cruise in September? Do you know about the cruise?
I do know about the cruise. It sounds really, really fun. I don't know if it's something I'm gonna be able to kind of shell out for.
Yeah, that's a
It's
big travel. Yeah.
yeah, and yeah, so I'm not sure at the moment. Yeah, I think it sounds really fun. I've also never been on a cruise before. So and I am really scared of the ocean, like genuinely. My
Ah,
worst nightmare is being left at sea. That is my worst nightmare. So yeah, I don't know how I feel about it, but it does sound really fun. And from the people I've seen who are going, it seems like it's going to be a blast. And I'm sure I'll get FOMO if I'm not there.
yeah,
How about you?
definitely.
Are you going to go?
No, September's too far in advance for me to for sure plan. So much for me is dependent upon how my Tony's doing. He's doing well. He went through, it's been almost 2 years of a surgery and cancer treatment. He's doing well. Um, but there's still tests and other things that he has to do. So it just kind of it would the idea of going out of because you technically go out of the country, right? You get on the ship and then yeah, I think that's just too long and far to be gone. Though he'd be the first one to say you should just go. Like, no, but I also need to go home and see my family. And that, being from Hawaii, it's expensive as hell to get back there. And I try to do that at least, each year to make sure I see my family, check in on my dad and all that. And so 2 trips like that in 1 year might be a bit much, but we shall see. Plus, I was super spoiled. As part of my job, I got to do this cruise on this. The first one I ever did was on this cruise line called Silver Seas, and
Yep.
it was amazing. I It was through I was writing at the time, and I just kinda, like, had to host a couple dinners, and people from my area signed up to go, and it was fantastic and completely ruined me on any other cruise. Everybody had a butler. That I mean, it
That's
was just
wild.
crazy. Every room was it was like a suite, and you had your own balcony, and there was a bathtub. And me
Wow.
being me, I kept, like, questioning the butler because he kept wanting to, like, clean my luggage and, like, all up in my business, and finally, he explained to me very kindly how it worked because I had no business being on that cruise, which is why I had no idea, like, how to respond to that level of service. I'm like, "No, you're not unpacking my bag. What the hell? Step back."
Don't touch my stuff.
Exactly. By the end of it, we were very good friends, or at least I thought so. He probably just thought, "I don't know what this woman's issues are. I'm just glad she's leaving." 'Cause I wouldn't let him do anything. I'm like, "No, I'll clean that. What are you doing?" Today, it would be
The
different, though.
size of them is crazy, isn't it? The size of those ships, like,
That
my
scares me
best friend
too.
yeah, my best friend just got back from when he's a singer. He did Silver Seas a while back as well as an entertainer,
Yeah.
and, the one he just got back off had a go-kart track on it. Like,
Whoa.
on a freaking ship, a go-kart track. What the hell? So, yeah, I don't even know. It's like a floating city to me. It's
Mhm.
crazy.
Yeah, it is. It is. Melissa's asking, "Are there any support groups for children born into or brought up in Scientology who have left?" There is a Facebook group, Children of
Yeah.
Scientology, I think, but a formal, actual group, not that I'm aware of. Are you aware of any?
You know,
Is
I remember, talking to Jeff Hawkins, and he said that there was one that he attended in, Portland. It wasn't Children of Scientology specific, but it was ex-Scientology specific.
Hmm,
Um, there might be some, therapy style groups like for, but it'll be probably be more generic about trauma and stuff. I don't think, the world's quite a lot of the world doesn't even know what Scientology is still.
yeah.
I meet people regularly that are like, "Ah, is that," they ask me what I do. I'm like, "Oh, I expose cults online." And they're like, "Oh, what cult?" I'm like, "Oh, Scientology." And they're like, "Oh, Tom Cruise." And I'm
Yeah.
like, "Yeah,
Prevent Cults sent you a super chat.
oh, thank you."
And, Moni Cato, how common is it for public Scientologists to have or use e-meters in their homes? Much love and respect to you both. Thank you very much. Because your mom used an e-meter in the home when you were a child.
Mhm. Yeah, we had our own. I do think that they're sort of encouraged to buy e-meters. It's,
Oh,
something
yeah,
that
2 per person.
publics are. Yeah, I don't know if we had 2. We had 1, and it was red, and it always
Mhm.
smelt weird, like, the cans smelled disgusting, like, ugh. Um, so that's just what I remember. But, I think they are people are encouraged to buy them, so, I can't speak to everyone, but my family had one, so
Yeah, we had them in the household, but I don't recall. I remember a couple times my mom bringing it out just to do a pinch test where you hold on to the cans and someone pinches you and the needle reacts, and then you're asked to recall the pinch and the needle reacts in the same way, stuff like that. But I don't think my mom actually ever tried to interrogate me on it or perform an exorcism. So it's crazy how someone can take Scientology can be crazy enough on its own, but then when you add to it a twist that becomes this abusive take on it even more, it's like doubling down on it's like black magic. That's kind of what it makes me
yeah.
think of. You're just using it in a real black magic way.
They did really believe I had some, like, evil suppressive thing in me, though, like, they
Yeah.
really did believe that, and it's just, yeah, it's just wild. Just wild.
It is so wild. How those and it's just really that becomes the scary part about Scientology and when people who have maybe some underlying mental health issues, you double down by adding Scientology to the mix, and it just creates a crazy level of instability and harm. They
Yeah.
do not go
Yeah.
well together. Neuropsych 93, I respect your independent thoughts and opinions in a world filled with groupthink. Keep being creative. Yes.
I will.
Ooh, Laura's here and she says she would love that. Yay.
Yay!
Yay!
Send me an email or on Instagram or something, Lara. Let's chat because your songs are amazing. Have you heard Lara's music? It's
Yep.
popping. It's awesome.
Yep.
She's great.
That would
Yay!
be so wonderful to see. Okay, you got a super chat. You awesome, Kelly. Y'all inspired me to go out in my capital in Germany and do my first videos on Sciento. Wow.
Awesome. I'll go and if they're on your channel, I'll definitely have a look and check that out. You know, in Germany, I'm pretty sure they are very anti-Scientology in Germany. And I think it is even labeled like a cult over
Yeah,
there.
labeled a sect or
Um,
something. Yeah.
yeah, and I've had people asking me, you know, if they can translate videos and stuff to reach people in Germany. So there's definitely a growing what's the word?
Growing different.
Presence.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely.
so keep it up, and I would love to check it out.
That's exciting. Looks like Tiff 45 is a new member for you. Became a new
Oh,
YouTube member.
awesome. Thank you. Yeah. Have you got members on your channel?
Not yet. I need to do that. It's just something you
Do
fill out.
it.
It's a monthly thing. Do you do
Yeah,
extra
you can like
content for members?
yeah, you can offer extra content. I have like little solo singing performances and stuff that are
Yeah.
just I wouldn't put on my main sort of with my main content, but if anyone wants to see them, they can see it there. And I include everyone's name in the credits as well. So at the end of one of my videos, everyone that's a member gets credited as a supporter. So yeah,
That's so
thank you
cool.
so much for becoming a member, Tiff. Yeah, if anyone wants to, you are more than welcome to. And Natalie, if you want to have memberships and you want a hand with it, hit me
Yeah.
up.
No, definitely. I would love that. Susie G. Kelly, have you ever tried out for American Idol or The Voice?
No, I was on a reality TV show a couple years ago. We have
You
something called
tell.
Britain's Got Talent.
Oh,
We have a show called Britain's Got Talent here. It's just like America's Got Talent, but Britain. Um, I didn't go on my own. I went as part of a group orchestra. You can search it. It's Collaborative Orchestra and Singers. Very creative name. And you know, it's kind of all set up though. The production team reached out to the orchestra and said, "Hey, if you get a choir, you can be on the show." So they emailed our university, got a bunch of us to go and do it, and then we were on the show. So I have done it. I'm not super enamored with the whole singing talent shows because I just think it's kind of rigged. But that's just my opinion.
Tampa B Man says, I've got an e-meter on my dresser right now.
Spicy.
And I'm not afraid to use it. I sold my e-meters. I had to, because I'm left-handed. And so when I did my solo auditing in Scientology, I had to have 2 left-handed meters. And of course, my husband at the time was right-handed. So I sold them. I sold them to somebody in the independent Scientology community after I left. I don't even
What
remember
makes it left-handed? Is it where the dial is?
where the
Is it
dial
on the other
is,
side?
exactly, because
Right.
to write left-handed, you would need to hold the cans connected together in your right hand and then adjust the dial with your left, whereas a right-handed meter, it's the opposite. The cans are in your left hand and you're adjusting the dial with your right and writing with your right.
Wow. How much did you get for them? Because they're proper
I
expensive, aren't they?
Yeah, they were, brand new. They're at like a couple thousand, maybe even more, maybe even over 3,000 per. Nowhere near that. Nowhere near that. I don't remember what I got, but I remember being happy with it. And the guy who got them, I guess, was happy with it.
3,000.
Yeah, it's
That's
ridiculous.
insane. And isn't it it's essentially just like a resistance, electrical resistance thing, isn't it? I saw someone take
Yeah.
it apart and do a thing on it.
Oh, I've never seen that.
3,000. 3,000. I'll find the video. I'll send it to you.
Yeah, no, I would love that.
Insane.
Yeah, they're very yeah, you have to have 2. That's the scam too. Even though in a session, I don't think I ever had to break out the other one. And it's not like you couldn't take a break and recharge a meter. I think it's just all part of that redundancy in Scientology. If they can get you to do something or pay for it 2 times, they will.
Oh my gosh. I'm pretty sure you could get an actual lie detector for cheaper than that.
For cheaper. I think you're right. I think you're totally right. You really could. I've heard that there are a type of meter that you can use. They say in Scientology that it sends a small electric current through your body, and then it responds to resistance. But yeah, I don't know for sure. I'd love to see it taken apart. That's interesting. Aaron at Growing Up in Scientology talks about how he has spoken about how he never believed the emitter really worked. And that was when he was in the Sea organization
Yeah.
as the course supervisor, where I was like, how'd you do your job? Because how do you move forward? Because the things in Scientology that I did at that time, I was like, okay, well, I guess this could be true. I got nothing else. So fine, let's go. Let's just go with it. But not thinking if I thought at that time that the e-meter didn't work. Towards when I was doing there's a solo course you do after you attest to the state of clear to do the upper levels. And you go and you do all these drills. And while doing them, I do remember thinking like, I don't know, I had a little bit of a doubt, but then I just automatically assumed I had a misunderstood word. Because if you don't
Of
jive
course.
with anything that L. Ron Hubbard says, it's because you have a misunderstood word or you have false data.
Wow. I think I do still have a bit of fear about misunderstanding words. Like if someone says a word I've not heard before or I don't know what it means, I literally have to look it up. I cannot not. I have to.
Yeah.
I think the fear used to be though that something bad would happen to you if you didn't understand it, that was going to cause some kind of an engram or some
Yeah.
pain later on. But it's hard to shake that, I think. I don't think it's that unuseful. Like if someone says some random word, I'm like, oh, let me Google it. But we can Google it now, which is great. I don't have any dictionaries in my house. So
Yeah, you don't have to carry around the dictionary anymore. Or you can have
hell no.
somebody explain it to you, which is something else in Scientology you're not allowed to do. That's why none of them explain what Scientology is, because they want to sell you a book. Buy the book and find out for yourself, because I don't know how to explain it and I'm not allowed to. If they
Do
would
they
say that,
not
at
see
least
how
be
crazy
honest.
that looks? Do they
No.
not see how I can't explain it. I'm not allowed to explain. Like, do they not see how that looks from the
Yeah.
outside? It's just wild to me.
They don't, because it's
So
never looked at as if you were on the outside. That would be like me saying, being someone who works in real estate, tell me what being a realtor means. What does that look like? I'd be like, well, it's better you find out for yourself and do your 9 hours of training to see. Let me sell you these books, which will tell you all you need to know about it. And I'll get a commission if you buy the books.
oh dear.
It's something we just cannot. You know what brought me a lot of peace years after leaving Scientology was when I got to the point where I realized that it's impossible to make sense of a lot of things that happened or happened. And you can still kind of move, like not get stuck on that, because you can't make sense of what doesn't make sense. It's
Mhm.
illogical. And so much of it is irrational. And so it's just, you can't make it make sense.
No. No, that's good though to not get stuck on it. Just go with it, go past it. You accept that it's ridiculous and it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
That's
great.
it. That's as good as it's gonna get. Before we wrap up here, I wanna grab another song. Let's see if
Go
I can
for it.
speed up correctly. Here we go.
See the CEO walking down the street. Another night after 3 hours of sleep. They don't know they're under my control till they go offline. We got receipts, check out our streets. We got receipts. Yeah, we got receipts. All the kids work in the fake hotels. They can look, but they can never tell. It's the truth, but don't take it from me. See the testimony. We got receipts, and this same thing. We got receipts. Yeah, we got receipts.
I just love it so much. I can't get enough. You gotta make new ones. See, I love the hat, so it came like that.
It's literally, you know what? It's not even perfect. It's a little wonky.
Yeah.
But you can just get it from Amazon, literally.
Yeah,
You can get
I
different
want one.
colors,
I'll wear it to the coffee
different
shop.
styles. It's very sparkly. And then, yeah, just any old pair of sunglasses, and you too can create
You
little
too can
parody
do parody
videos.
videos. I would need the actual
Yes.
cartoon though. Mhm. Fluffer Squirrel UK, new member.
Yay! Thank you
Hooray.
so much. This has been so good. I've not been on YouTube for a couple of weeks now, Natalie, because I've been a bit with all the stuff going on. It's really nice to just come and have a really lovely, fun chat with you. You are awesome. So thank you
Oh,
so much for
I
having me here.
appreciate that. Well, and we have the coolest people who show up. Mathurian, what about a parody with Pearl Snappy? We talked about that, and that is on the list. That is a must. A must. I can't wait. Hard Met LA. Liz Gale just bought an e-meter. That's right. Have you watched any of Liz's unboxing videos? She
Yeah,
bought
she got some crazy deal, right? From Facebook Marketplace, this
Mhm.
whole bunch of books and stuff. I don't know if I could have all that stuff around me, but it's fascinating seeing her open it all up. Yeah.
Yeah, I had when I left, got rid of everything, or my ex-husband might still have some things, but I have nothing from Scientology except I did get my hands on a History of Man book because I forget I was looking into a few things that I wanted to do a video about, and I've just not had the chance to get around to doing the video, but it's the first time that I cracked a book by L. Ron Hubbard and Scientology. And I was like, oh my gosh, this really, I get why it's so weird to people who didn't grow up in Scientology. Because when you grow up, it's like, well, of course, we share these whole track incidents. Oh, of course. Of course, we sign billion-year contracts. That makes total sense, even for
We're
children.
gonna be here.
Yeah,
We're gonna be here in a billion years.
gonna be here anyways. Might as well do something. That was honestly like my whole even when I went into this organization, my mom was already in Los Angeles, my sister was in this organization, and I was trying to join, but I hadn't replaced myself in Hawaii, and that's a requisite if you're a staff member in an organization and you wanna go into the Sea Org. You have to have replaced yourself, and I didn't do that, and they were trying to, like, not let me on, and I just, like, forced my way in, which is so ironic. I forced my way into the Sea organization and then, like, had to literally claw my way out.
Mm, yeah,
Oh,
well,
it's
thank
so
goodness
good.
you did.
We can laugh about that now.
Hell yes.
Well, we're definitely gonna do this again. I really
Yay.
hope that you go and you get more videos done and are inspired to do that. It's been just a joy chatting with you, and I appreciate that you shared so much of what you did, and, I think everybody else here too feels the same way.
Oh, it's awesome. And thank you everyone that has stopped by to come and watch and everything. It's awesome. And yeah, Natalie, you are just a ray of sunshine and you are brilliant to chat to. So yeah, let's definitely do this again.
Oh, I appreciate that. So you hang tight, Kelly, and everybody else get out there. Ooh, wait. I'm doing a live this afternoon with Jay from Denver, who was detained. Was it last night? So check it out. I'll get out a notification, but 3 p.m. Central Time, I'm going to have Jay on and we're going to be talking about that. So almost forgot to tell y'all about that.
Ooh,
Yeah, it's going to be good. So Kelly,
I'll be
hang for
there.
a second. Everybody else get out there and have the most amazing cult free day.